Hello, everyone. This is Will with Hook and Push Gaming, and welcome to another episode of MTG News. Today we have the banned and restricted announcement for September 28th, 2020. For Standard, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, is banned. Now, I don't think this comes as a surprise to anyone, but let's talk through their reasoning. We've been keeping a close eye on the emerging Zendikar Rising standard format over its first week of availability on MTG Arena and Magic Online. With millions of games having already been played on digital platforms, early data and results from events this past weekend have shown that multicolor ramp decks featuring Uro, Lotus Cobra, and Omnath Locus of Creation are a problem in the new post-rotation metagame. While Uro was a powerful and contentious card in the pre-rotation standard environment, we wanted to allow the metagame to adapt to the last set of standard changes and the imminent rotation before making a decision on whether to let it remain a part of the environment going forward. This weekend's events underscored that the four-color Omnath decks are dominating early play, and that even the decks built to try to beat these decks utilize the powerful Titan. In order to weaken these post-rotation ramp strategies, we're choosing to ban Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath in Standard. Our goal is to bring these decks down to a level where they are still appealing and competitive, but where natural metagame forces are enough to keep them in check. In general, we prefer this approach to overshooting the mark and removing an archetype from viability. However, we've certainly noted this weekend's strong results for the four-color Omnath deck, and will continue to watch how that strategy and the overall metagame adjust in the following weeks. It's unusual for us to make a change this early into the season, but in this case we're targeting a card that has shown signs of being problematic in the past, and would continue to display its dominance during events this past weekend. Additionally, the speed at which high-level digital play attacks new formats, particularly when digital play is the only high-level play available, means that metagames advance past the early stages far faster than they used to. We prefer to make this change now so that players can continue to get the most enjoyment out of post-rotation standard, which is one of the most exciting times in Magic to explore and innovate. Finally, I'd like to emphasize that this B&R change, our focus, was primarily on Standard and Historic, with an eye for the upcoming 2020 season Grand Finals. Changes to other formats, if needed, will be included in future updates. Okay. So again, I don't think anyone's surprised by this ban. People have been talking about banning it for a long time, and bans in other Uro being banned in other formats might be yet coming because of just how powerful and problematic and dominant it is. Frankly, I get their reasoning for not wanting to ban more cards because they don't want to just completely remove the deck. But I don't think this will be enough to slow down the four-color Omnath deck. I really don't. I know I'm not the only one with that take, but just thinking about it, there are so many powerful ramp cards at the 3-drop slot that could completely replace Uro. You've got Cultivate, you've got Dryad of the Elysian Grove, you've got Azusa, you've got Rada. And yes, none of those perfectly replace Uro, but they all very much help you ramp. The only thing that I think the four-color Omnath would miss is the life gain, because then you're gaining 7 life every turn instead of just 4. But not when you're talking about gaining 4 life every turn from Omnath Locus of Creation. That's more than powerful enough to completely stymie any aggro deck. So even that's not a super big loss for the deck, I don't think. And of course, the way it stymies mill decks somewhat. I mean, if you mill enough, it kind of doesn't matter. Because when you're playing 4-color Omnath against a deck that runs Uro, let's say you're running a 4-color Omnath deck that includes Ruin Crab. If you're milling them that much, them getting out a 6/6 isn't a big issue to that deck. It might be an issue in the Dimir Rogues mill deck, but really it's not a big deal. So my point is, I'm glad they banned it. I really am, but I don't think it's going to address the issue they're hoping to address. I think this nerfs the Sultai decks quite a bit. Any attempt to make a Sultai controller, Sultai mid-range, or Sultai ramp deck, they'll just go Dimir, because I think this card is that powerful in this current meta. So, yeah, I agree with the ban. I don't think it's going to stop the 4-color Omnath deck from dominating. I'm probably going to start brewing that deck right now once I get off this video to see what can effectively replace Uro. It'll probably be some combination of the cards I just mentioned, because I'm already running those in my version of the deck. And others are too, in usually 1 or 2 copies. So, yeah. I hate to say this, but I think we might be making another one of these videos in a couple weeks, because I think 4-color Omnath is still going to be a very powerful deck. With, yeah, because, I mean, Lotus Cobra, it's a reprint. People knew what they were doing with this card. And so we shouldn't be surprised that it's powerful. And then Omnath, I mean, yeah, it's a 4-color card in a very ramp-heavy format, and with a lot of cards that generate mana of any color. So it's not that hard to get this card out. Especially with Lotus Cobra, very easy to get it out on turn 3. So, yeah. That's the deck. I love the 4-color Omnath deck, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun to play, but looking at the pro player side of things, it's very problematic. So, I think that's it for me. What do you guys think? Should Uro have been banned? Do you agree with that ban? Do you think more cards should have been banned? Do you want to unban Oko? I've seen a lot of people joking about that, of like, oh, let's just unban Oko and then your Omnath is now a 3/3 elk. I definitely don't agree with that. I think that's a terrible idea. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment down in the comment section. Tell us what you think of the bans. What do you expect Standard to look like now that Uro is no longer in it? And yeah, any other MTG related things you'd like to hear the channel talk about. And if you like the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share it around with your friends. This is Will with Hook and Push Gaming signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later.